my friends. The night of the nights has come. The night of the nights. Open your heart and your mind. Move to the rhythm and dance into your own beautiful reality. Beautiful reality. Feel free and expect the unexpected.
Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Now guys, after doing that recent video on the Trinidad kidnapping case where 4 men were killed, 2 of which are believed to be Jamaicans, I honestly never intended to do another Trinidad video so close, or probably I never intended to ever do another Trinidad video unless something of that kind came up. However, a serious matter has been brought to my attention that should interest all bloggers throughout Jamaica and the world. Now, this may sound like wacky news, but I am now of the opinion that Trinidad is not a real place. Because the story I'm going to tell you guys now, it's like it come out of a Eddie Murphy comedy or something like that. You can't believe say this is reality, but trust me, it is. Now, it all surrounds a fellow blogger, a Canadian guy called Chris Hughes, or should I say Christopher Hughes. Christopher Hughes has a channel called Christmas List. And Chris is very famous throughout the world for being a tourist who tours the world and show the videos on YouTube. But here is what makes Christmas List a lot more popular and be one of the most watched YouTubers in the world. When Christmas List visits any country, he does not go into the cities and the posh areas, and of course he does not stay in an all-inclusive hotels. Christmas List goes into the country that has the most crime. Yeah man, once there's a travel advisory put out negatively on a country, that's where he goes. He has been to Colombia, he has been to Haiti, he has been to Brazil, and of course he has been to Jamaica, and more than one time. I think is twice, but at least twice, but it could even be 3 times. And I know he has been to Belize also. When he goes to these countries, he goes into the most depressed communities. Any country that is, any city, any town, any community that is known for gang warfare and has a high murder rate, robbery, extortion, gang violence, and etc. And he interviews these people. Now guys, Christmas List is a nerdy little fellow. He speaks very, very calmly and he dresses weird. But the guy has found a niche on YouTube that nobody else has. His personality is a very unthreatening one. You're just not gonna feel threatened by him. You ever hear, you used to have a show named Everybody Loves Raymond, and one named Everybody Hates Chris, remember? You see, with this Chris, everybody loves Christmas List. Everybody loves Christmas List. He has never gone to any country and go into the deepest, darkest catacomb of the brutality and not be treated with the utmost care and respect. As a matter of fact, you see with Christmas List, if he interviewed the most bloodthirsty gunman, you are going to warm towards that gunman because he brings out the human side in people. He brings out the humanity in you. And when he goes to these countries, he can walk from one set of bloodthirsty gunman over here and walk straight across the road to another set of bloodthirsty gunmen who are the mortal enemy of those he just coming from, and everybody just warm to him and they see him as harmless. The only idiots he has ever encountered since he has been blogging, interestingly, is the T&T government. No brown stuff. Can you believe it? And guys, please, when you are finished with this video, please go over and subscribe to Christmas List. It will be one of the most enlightening and pleasurable YouTube experience you'll have. Just tell him that the advisor sent you, okay? Now, over the years that Chris has been doing this, he has never ever met with any problems from authorities until he went to Trinidad. Now, here is what happened. He interviewed some gunmen, and he interviewed gunmen from rival gangs, and he sent those out on YouTube. These videos became so sensational that one television station in Trinidad called him in for an interview. What happened is that just after the interview on a television station called CNC, he got a call from a man who said he's a policeman. The policeman asked him to come to a certain police station because he needs to be interviewed regarding criminal activities going on in Trinidad. Christmas List told the man, listen, I don't know nothing about anything. I just came and interviewed some people, and all those videos are on the internet. So if you need anything, you're free to go and look at the video. And if you want me to send you the links, I can send it to you. But I have no need to speak to you about criminal activities because I know nothing about criminal activities. I just interview people. It's just what I do. So when the policeman realized that he's refusing to come to the station, the policeman said, "Oh, that's the way you want to go about it? Okay then, we'll see." So Christmas List took that as a threat. And the first thing he did on the same day was, after leaving the radio station, was to go to the Canadian embassy and told them what's happening. What he was told is that, listen, here what you do. You know, you are upsetting some people, so here what you do. Just leave the country. See, on the safe side, just leave the country. So what Christmas List did next was go to the airlines and book a flight back to Canada for the following day. In other words, he would leave on the first flight out. As a matter of fact, to what I'm hearing, there was no flight out for the following day, so he did one which would take him through the United States and then interconnect on to Canada. But lo and behold, he went back to his hotel and he slept for the night, waiting for morning to light so he can go to the airport. But as early as about 5:30 in the morning, I hear about 5:45, the police beat down him door, opened it and arrested him and have him inside the room, interrogating him. Them took him to the station and locked him up on a crime called sedition. Now, what is sedition? Well, sedition, just to give you a brief idea, any conduct or speech that incites people to rebel against the authority of a state or of a monarch. That is it, any conduct or speech that will incite people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. That is called sedition. Now, sedition is really a serious offense. The only offense more serious than that in a country is not even murder. It's treason. And treason, as you know, is punishable by death. Anyway, he was taken into custody. All of his equipment were confiscated. His phone, his laptop, his cameras, his tablet, everything. iPad, everything. A few days later, he was given $100,000 bail. But before we go any further, let's look at sedition a bit more. Sedition is very, very broad, and sedition is a old British colonial law where come from slavery days, where they prevented you from saying anything or doing anything that will cause you to rebel against slavery or as against the condition that the white man had black slaves under at the time. That was the purpose of that law. So it was very law. So it was very broad. You could even spit on the ground. And if they think that is an act of sedition, then it is sedition. In other words, it is a law in search of a crime. Anything on the face of this earth that a government considers threatening, it can be considered sedition. That is how broad the sedition law is. But they also charged him under the Anti-Gang Act. And according to Section 8 of the Trinidad and Tobago Anti-Gang Act, anyone who knowingly provides support in whatever form to a gang is liable upon conviction to a 25-year prison sentence. But I would like to know what kind of support him did provide. Only talk to the people and they express themselves and him put it out on YouTube. But guys, it gets worse. It gets worse. When I think that was it, it's worse. Here what? Them charge him for breaching the Immigration Act of Trinidad and Tobago. How him breach the Immigration Act when him never enter the country illegally nor overstay him time? Now here is what. Now this is wacky news. Listen. He was charged for working without a work permit. Now, how they come to that part? Here is how. Now listen me good. And tell me if Trinidad is a real place. Him come to Trinidad and him make videos and him put them out on YouTube. So, because his channel is monetized, therefore, I work him at work. So, when you see the level, the draconian principles and attitude and behavior of the TNT government. Now, you see this man, Christmas list, he come to Jamaica, right? He went to Denham Town. He went to Trench Town, Rima, Jungle, and interview people. He went to Tivoli Gardens and interview gunmen down there. He went to Spanish Town and he interviewed both one other gang and he interviewed Klansman gang. He went to Montego Bay and he in the heart of the most cold-blooded murderers down there and he interviewed them. And Jamaicans and the Jamaican authorities had never even looked at the man and tell him walk fast. Now, don't get me wrong, you know. I know for certainty that there are several departments in the Jamaica Constabulary Force that actually has all of Chris' videos and examine them. But they would not compromise Chris. Everybody, both the law enforcement and gangsters, considered Chris to be an asset. Well, he was arrested on May 29th and he had court cases on June 6th and on June 14th. And his trial is set for August. And now the courts have until the 22nd of July in order to submit all of the statements and all the processes to be completed by the 22nd. And then they have until August 19th to give evidential objections, defense statements, and notice of legal submissions, etc. Now, here is where things even get a bit more bizarre. At first, when he was given bail, he had to report to the police station every single day, even though them take him passport and him can't travel. Can you believe that? What's the point? And him is a white man in a predominantly black country where him can't hide. Eventually, at the second hearing, I think that was on June 14th, they gave him back his passport, they gave him back his camera, they gave him back all the extra SIM cards and thumb drives and his iPad and his laptop and all his equipment. Give back everything that the court had held. And he was now, they lift all bail restrictions, which means that he doesn't have to report or anything. And they told him, listen, hear what, fellow, you are free to leave the country whenever you want, but just come back for your trial. Right? Cool. Now, they didn't even restrict him from making more videos. So, the same day him come out of jail, he make and post on him YouTube channel 2 more videos. Now, why would the Trinidad government behave like that? Charge a man with a serious crime, give him back all him equipment, no give him no bail restriction, tell him him can, a foreigner, you know, him can leave the country and just come back for him trial. Wanna see what's going on here, people? You know what's going on here? They are trying to do damage control. So here was that what had happened. When Christmas List went and speak to these gunmen, they walked with him throughout their community with their AK-47s and other weapons on open display. They only put hoods over their faces so that they couldn't be identified. But in serious conversation, they explained to Chris why they turned to crime. And they say that the government had neglected all the depressed communities. They say that the oil money, because Trinidad is an oil-rich country, he said none of that money is reaching down into the ghettos. The youths in the ghetto, they lack opportunities. There are not enough social services. There are not enough clinics. There are not enough educational or recreational support. They are not building any community centers, nor no ballparks, nor no basketball parks or anything. And because social services are not there, sometimes the youths take to crime. And what Chris did is to put out a video showing all the mistakes that the TNT government has been making. So, with all their flaws laid bare, and because they couldn't go and find the gunman them, they went for the lowest hanging fruit, which was Christmas List. And not knowing what to charge him with, since him never said nothing bad against the government, him only record it and put it out. They had to fall back on a whole ancient law that was coming from British slavery days. And when they look at the charges, like when they wake up, it's like them get them feelings, you know, them get them feelings. How this white man come there and come and show all with dirty drawers pan line. And I show the world. Are we supposed to be an all-rich country? No, man, him had this the program. So that's why they go for him. But after putting these charges on him, it's like them sleep and wake up and them say, but hold on, where are we really going with this? I mean, can these charges stick? How are we going to look among the world of bloggers across the entire world? How will we look, or what is the image or the message we are sending to bloggers all over the world? And they began to feel stupid. Now, their way of doing damage control now was to give back Christmas List, all of his equipment, and then tell him, say, listen, man, you can travel, see back all of your thing, yeah, man. Yeah, you can go on to Canada if you want. Just come back next week for your trial, pretty please, and be a nice boy and return back for your trial. Christmas list decided him not go nowhere. Him at Trinidad till the trial done. After all, let us face it, the man on a time for travel back and forth, go to Canada and back there for this little foolishness. So the TNT government was doing damage control by trying to get rid of the situation before they find themselves in a deeper doo-doo. But bear in mind, that it was the chief magistrate of TNT, Christine Charles, who was responsible for sending the police to him and deciding that he should be charged. Because she, being a legal luminary, should have known what she's doing before she get up. She and the government get up in them feelings. And here is another thing to look at. The offense of sedition carries a $3,000 fine or 2 years imprisonment. I repeat that. The penalty for sedition carries a maximum sentence of $3,000 fine or 2 years imprisonment. Yet they give the man a bail, they set the man's bail at $100,000. No, that is unprecedented. They were just trying to humiliate the man and harass him. This is legal harassment. Because not the normal standard procedure is you wouldn't set a man bail higher than the money that he would be normally fined in a court. You would fine him either the $3,000 or less. But them set his bail with maximum fine is $3,000 and set him bail at $100,000. Now, if these people aren't stupid, what are they? This is just using the law as harassment. Boy, it must feel like, it look like them have a book, them take us some lessons out of the book of the Democrats in the US. And the way them go after Trump arbitrarily and constantly. But I know the good thing that come out of all this, they did some Vox Pop, a television station in TNT. They did a Vox Pop where they go on the road and interview Trinidadians about the situation. And this television called CNC3 television. And virtually 100% of the people thought this was stupidness. Because according to how they feel, they said that Christmas list was simply drawing attention to life in disadvantaged communities. And instead of trying to learn from this and trying to fix it, they decide to kill the messenger. And of course, disregard the message. This of course is draconian, heavy-handed, brutal, and punitive. And this is not something that one would expect of an ordinary Caribbean democracy. This is something we would normally expect from the US-backed Pinochet government in Chile, or the US-backed government in Nicaragua back in the 70s, or the US-backed government in the Philippines back in the 70s and 80s, Fernando Marcos, or any of the other US-backed brutal regimes in the world at the time, or even now. But we wouldn't expect that from a parliamentary democracy. But there you go. Anyway, guys, I'll keep you abreast and we'll see the outcome of this and I'll let you know what happens. Thank you for watching. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.